Welcome to Mr. Beefy's Boxing, or just Beefy's Boxing, where we cover all kinds of boxing news and boxing subjects, where we have the meats by the pounds and covers the fights by the rounds. Before we jump into the video, be sure to like and subscribe so we can get the channel out to as many as possible. Now, on to today's topic. So, we got 24 hours before the big fight, and we got to go through this final prediction on who's going to win. A lot of people have been flip-flopping back and forth, and I understand why. It's a 50-50 fight to the untrained eye, but I think it's a little bit more one-sided than we think. But let's get into the fighters' records first, starting with Fabio Wardley, 20 wins, 19 coming by KO, only suffering one draw. He has beaten every single body he has faced by KO. That one fight where he didn't get a KO, he ended up KOing Clark in the next fight. And yes, I know his first fight was the one that he lost on by points, but it was his first fight. I'm not even considering that anymore. Not even worried about that. And his competition that he's faced hasn't been bad here recently. And I mean by Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, 2023, I think it was. He was Fighter of the Year. He was just destroying people. Zhang, Wilder, he was just on a roll. Besides Parker, he also had a good win against Hooney and David Adelaide, two fighters who were both, decently ranked. Now, Daniel Dynamite Dubois, 22 wins, 21 coming by KO, and only suffering 3 KOs himself, 3 defeats. Now, Dubois, he has a better resume than Wardley. Can't deny that. Which I understand is why financially he's a better pick than Wardley for the other fighters like Usyk and stuff. I get that. Going through his resume, he has decent opposition, but the losses is where some questions will come into play. He beat AJ, and he beat AJ in devastating fashion. While that happened, I will have to defend AJ a little bit and give it to AJ that he wasn't the same fighter. If this was peak AJ versus peak Dubois, peak AJ all day would smoke Dubois, no doubt about it. But the AJ that he fought, he beat. Before that, he beat Hrgovic, El Animal, who everybody was looking at as almost like a boogeyman. And he ended up getting a stoppage on Drell Miller, who throws, punches and bunches, who's slowly rebuilding his own career. And I would love to see get a rematch against Daniel if Daniel loses. He only suffers his losses from Alexander Usyk, which, Usyk is the GOAT. He'll beat anybody, in my opinion. I don't think anybody beats him. And then he lost to Joe Joyce. And the Joe Joyce fight is the one that I kind of want to stay on for a second, because he quit over a fracture on his orbital bone, was it? The orbital bone got broke. And yeah, that was bad. But since then, his heart has been questioned multiple times. And Usyk ended up beating him twice by KO. And one of them for sure, it was just Daniel quitting. He looked at his corner. He had 3 seconds he could have easily got up. And he was not about it. And that's what's going to play into the biggest X factor, I would say, in this fight. That's the biggest X factor, is Daniel's heart. While Wardley apparently has his nose to worry about, during a live, this became a conversation for a minute. And a few people believe that Wardley's nose might be a little soft and could cause some issues. I would like to counter this, though, because Wardley has never shown any kind of hesitation or doubt whenever things got rough for him. Hell, the Clark fight, rewatch that shit. If there was a time, that blood and just being battered was ever going to play into effect, that would have been it. And Wardley didn't stop. He went full force. I don't see his nose, even if it gets busted or broken, being a factor. Now, if that happened to Daniel, I could see Daniel 100% quitting. If neither of them has to worry about each other's heart or, the referee stopping it, this has potential being a slugfest, a mega fight, just a burner, and I can't wait to see it. Daniel, if he establishes the jab, which he has a mean jab, we're not going to discount his jab. Probably the meanest jab in the heavyweight division. If not, it's in the top 3. Usyk's jab is pretty good. He has a good technique with it. And I'll even say I think Reactpour, he has a mean jab. But Daniels is definitely up there. And if he can establish the jab and bait Wardley and catch him with a left hook, I could see him getting Wardley. I could see that happening. I just don't have any reason to think that Wardley wouldn't be able to weather it. As long as Wardley is able to withstand his punches and get through to him, I believe long-term wise, Wardley will break Dubois down. If we look at it, skill-wise, then Dubois, later the rounds, he should win. He should be able to beat Wardley just by the basics. Because, when it comes to boxing, Dubois is a better boxer. But mentality makes up 90% of this. And that's where Wardley is going to shine. They both have about a 95% knockout ratio, so it going the distance is very, very unlikely. Dubois is also coming in at a career heaviest. Wardley's coming in about the same size, about 240-ish. If we just go by that, along with the recent performance, it looks like it's all in Fabio's favor. He's weighing about the same. He looks a little bit more cut. His ego's definitely up more. If we look at Daniel, he's coming in off a loss. He looks a little bit shooken. He doesn't look as ripped, and he looks a little bit bigger. So I don't know if that's maybe a different strategy. He's packing on the pounds to maybe withstand some hits and to put some more power in it. But it just makes me a little iffy. I think Fabio is going to get the win. I think around 7 to 9, somewhere in there. I know everybody thinks it was going to be over within the first 2-3 rounds, but I really do think the first round, 2 rounds will be a filler, just trying to get used to each other. Maybe Daniel taking a little bit slow, trying to establish the jab. Wardley trying to see how he can take Daniel's power. And then, mid-fight, mid-rounds, it'll start heating up. But ultimately, I do expect Fabio to be the winner. If Fabio does win, I would like him to be able to fight Usyk. If he doesn't fight Usyk, I want to see Fabio fight Fury. I think Fury versus Wardley before the AJ fight would be great. If Fury does win, that would give him a belt and it would make the AJ fight a little bit more sweeter. But we'll have to see tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts below. Who's winning? How? What round? Well, that was the final bell. The video is coming to an end. Before we end the video, I gotta say one more time, thank you so much for watching. Remember everybody, it's all about attitude. There is no progress without struggle, so stay in there. I've been your host, Mr. Beefy, and you all have been fantastic. Mr. Beefy.